From the National Newsroom of the Canadian Press, I'm Rob Westgate. The federal NDP leadership candidates will be making their final pitch for the top job today in Winnipeg.
Each of the 5 candidates will have time at the convention today to outline their vision for party leadership. While there is a voting booth at the convention in Winnipeg, voting opened earlier this month, and many members have already cast their ballots. The party's roughly 100,000 members are choosing the new leader through a ranked ballot system, where the first candidate to get more than 50% support is the winner. The next NDP leader will be announced tomorrow. Jason White, the Canadian Press.
A quick check south of the border, where officials in rural Mississippi say 5 people were killed when a train and a van collided at a crossing. They say the crash involved a Canadian Pacific Kansas City freight train near the town of Wiggins, some 72 kilometers northwest of Biloxi. One passenger in the van survived, a 23-year-old woman who had to be airlifted to hospital. An investigation into the incident is currently underway. Over to the prairies now, where Ottawa is set to hand over $16 million in funding for a 3-year program that'll support Saskatchewan workers and employers affected by tariffs. The federal government says it'll be available to those in the steel and softwood lumber industries, as well as other affected sectors. Officials say the cash will support up to 1,800 workers in the province who may face unemployment and need new skills to keep their jobs. BC Hydro is working to relocate and repurpose a substantial amount of an existing work camp to support the upcoming construction of the North Coast Transmission Line project. The provincial Crown utility says roughly 85% of the old camp at the Site C hydroelectric dam will be moved to multiple locations between Prince George and Terrace in the northern part of the province. Officials say the construction on the line will begin in the summer, starting with clearing and access work along the project's right-of-way. Back to the U.S. now, where election officials in Fulton County, Georgia, were in court for a crucial hearing about the FBI seizure of thousands of ballots from the 2020 election.
A judge appeared skeptical of a request to force the FBI to return Fulton County's seized ballots from the 2020 election. While he acknowledged the FBI warrant application omitted some facts, the Trump-appointed judge remarked that law enforcement has to pick and choose the information they ultimately present to a judge to get a warrant. Peter Haralambous, ABC News, Atlanta.
And finally, Pope Leo XIV paid a visit to the cosmopolitan Mediterranean Principality of Monaco this morning to encourage its people to use their Catholic faith and wealth for good. As the cannon boomed, the Pope was welcomed by Prince Albert and Princess Charlene at the Monaco heliport, just down the coast from the marina, which is home to the mega yachts of the rich and famous. This is the Canadian Press. In sports, the Toronto Blue Jays kicked off their 2026 campaign with a home win over the Athletics. Kazuma Okamoto scored the winning run, and Kevin Gausman had 11 strikeouts in the 3-2 walk-off win. The new MLB season also opened with the New York Yankees beating the San Francisco Giants 3-0, and the Atlanta Braves blanked the Kansas City Royals by a final score of 6-0. In the NBA, Scotty Barnes had a double-double as the Toronto Raptors routed the New Orleans Pelicans 119-106. Barnes had 23 points, 12 assists, and 6 rebounds. Jakob Poeltl also had a double-double with 18 points and 11 rebounds. In the NHL, only 2 games to tell you about. The Detroit Red Wings rolled to a 5-2 victory over the Buffalo Sabres, while the New York Rangers thumped the Chicago Blackhawks 6-1. And finally, officials say Tiger Woods has been released on bail hours after he was arrested on suspicion of driving under the influence. From the Canadian Press, I'm Rob Westgate.